Breaking news on News 4 at 4. College campus shooting. 2 people killed. A third person hurt. Gunshots ringing out inside of a Texas residence hall.
Plus, coronavirus concerns. New Jersey college students under mandatory quarantine as tests are still pending here in the city.
Plus, from sunny and 55 to freezing rain. Yeah, Storm Team 4 tracking weather whiplash that's going to make you want to keep your umbrella handy. Good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us at 4. I'm Stephen Holtz.
And I'm Rana Novini in for Natalie. We start with breaking news in the Flatlands section of Brooklyn, where an SUV has crashed into a Walgreens. Dennis Protzko live overhead in Chopper 4. Dennis?
That's right, Rana, bring you down towards ground level here. We can tell you this is the Walgreens location here at the 4900 block of Flatlands Avenue, right at the intersection of Utica Avenue. This is what it looks like right now. We actually have some ground video to show you exactly what happened here just after 3 o'clock, with the driver somehow losing control, jumping the curb, slamming into the storefront of this Walgreens pharmacy. Understand very heavy damage done to the entrance, windows, glass, and also the door of this location. Right now, this Walgreens is closed. We understand that the driver of this vehicle at least checked out here at the scene. No reported injuries by NYPD or FDNY. We're both here on the scene. Right now, NYPD still here at the scene. Accident being investigated. This Walgreens location right now, at least for the time being, is closed. I'm reporting live aboard Chopper 4. Dennis Protzko, Stephen and Rana, back to you in the studio.
All right, Dennis, thank you for the update. Some more breaking news to tell you about this in the coronavirus outbreak. We've just learned more than 100 Princeton University students are under mandatory quarantine right now. That's according to the latest guidance from the CDC. Princeton tells us those students will be assessed into low, medium, and high risk, being monitored right now. They expect most to be low risk. This coming as we're still waiting on test results of 3 people here in the city who have been tested for the virus. The CDC says they are among 82 patients whose tests are still pending nationwide. There are 11 confirmed cases of the coronavirus in the United States. And just today, we learned there's been a second case spread from person to person. Let's go to News 4's Adam Cooperstein live at Bellevue Hospital with more of the concerns facing our area right now. Adam?
Well, Stephen, the first patient with possibly the coronavirus in New York City was admitted here at Bellevue Hospital. We just checked in with the health department for an update. They say no update on any of those 3 patients being tested. The way it works is the CDC would do that test. Normally, they say it takes about 48 hours, but they are still waiting for the test results to come back. 3 people in New York City possibly have the coronavirus. All 3 had recently visited China and were admitted to hospitals with fever, cough, or shortness of breath. There are now more than 100 people being monitored across the country. But as concern about the outbreak grows, the New York City Health Department and medical professionals want to remind you the risk to the public here is low.
I still think people should not be overly concerned. The risk at this point is very minimal. Again, the flu is the main concern.
In Chinatown today, some businesses tell us they've noticed a slowdown over coronavirus fears, but no significant changes besides more people being cautious. I see you wearing a mask. Is it something you're conscious of, you're thinking about?
This is just a prevention. Like, it's better to be prepared.
There aren't that many people walking around.
Fewer people on the streets?
Fewer people walking around.
The U.S. government now limiting travel from China. The few remaining flights, like this one from Hong Kong to JFK, routed through 11 airports that have coronavirus screening capability. Newark also included in that list. Also, most foreign nationals leaving China are now banned from entering the U.S. China says America's overreacting and that the move could create and spread panic.
It could get worse, but again, I think we're doing public health measures that are effective.
Again, the flu, the bigger threat here in the U.S., but you understand the anxiety when you hear that death toll in China growing, now up to 360 from the coronavirus. Doctors tell us, though, just be smart, use basic health hygiene, wash.
Dorm on the Texas A&M Commerce campus. School buildings were put on lockdown for about 90 minutes as police responded. The university confirming 2 people dead, both females. We're told a third victim was shot in the foot. They are not releasing the names of the victims or if all are students. Again, the shooting on the Texas A&M Commerce campus this afternoon now contained with 2 dead and 1 injured. The investigation ongoing. In the newsroom, I'm Jonathan Dienst. Rana, back to you.
Okay, Jonathan, thank you so much. Now to a wild week of weather. It feels like spring now, but Storm Team 4 is tracking rain, freezing rain, sleet, and even snow on the way this week. Let's get all the details now from Dave Price. Dave?
So we get a dose of April. That's today, but things are going to be changing. It's not going to be spring showers, but we are going to see wet weather taking us from Tuesday into Wednesday, then heavier rain and an icy mix potentially as we head into Thursday, and then Friday it looks like widespread rain in the picture. So it's been a while since during the week we had so much precip like this, but that's just what's going to come to pass. Right now we take a look at Storm Tracker 4's red sweep. Not a lot going on anywhere, but things are going to be changing. Look at this. As we head on through into Tuesday, you can see the rain begin to approach. Scattered showers. They could take us through the morning, bring us a soggy early commute. But then as we head into Tuesday afternoon, we'll see some dry patches as well. That's Tuesday. But as we head into the rest of the week, keep in mind those umbrellas are going to have to be at the ready. The other constant for the work week, above average temperatures through the next 10 days. We'll talk about that and more when we see you in a few minutes. Back to you, Rana.
Okay, Dave, we'll see you then. The 2020 Democratic presidential race has been off and running for more than a year now, and now one of the most highly anticipated events of the election cycle, the famed Iowa caucus, is finally here. We are less than 4 hours until the first in the nation caucus. That's when it begins. And Iowa Democrats are expecting record turnout tonight. 10 candidates are fighting for that first voter verdict on who should take on President Trump in the fall. And it's looking like there isn't a clear front runner in the Hawkeye state. Government Affairs reporter Melissa Russo is live in Des Moines with the final push there. Melissa.
Yeah, Rana, and it's hard to say exactly how this is going to shake out because each of the 4 top candidates has polled in first place in recent polls over the past couple of months. And over the weekend, the much anticipated Des Moines Register poll, it's the gold standard of polling for the pre-caucus poll, had to be scrapped because of methodology problems. Biden and Sanders have been doing well in other polls, but the race is very tight and it could be close.
Happy Caucus Day, Iowa. Today is the day you make your voice heard.
The candidates were trying to make their voices heard, especially the 3 senators in the race who had to commute today from Iowa to Washington, D.C. for more impeachment duty.
It is what it is, and I've got a constitutional duty to be here. I said that from the beginning. I'm a mom. I can do 2 things at once.
Impeachment not only took Senators Warren, Klobuchar, and Sanders off the trail, the televised coverage here in Iowa bumped their ads off the air. Sanders tweeted his message from the Senate floor.
You have the power to change things.
Iowa is not first because it's important inherently. It's important because it's first.
Just one advantage for the candidates here on the ground: the ability to motivate their volunteers in person. Mayor Pete Buttigieg was able to play with Iowa babies who grabbed his nose and pose for plenty of pictures with his volunteers, some of whom traveled all the way from our area to canvass for him.
These folks are really the voice for so many of us in states that by the time the primary or caucus usually gets to us, it's not as impactful.
Oh, for Pete.
Oh, awesome.
Really?
I think that this is an open field here, and we really have no idea what's going to happen. The energy is just palpable.
Except for the people who don't want you knocking on their door. Not everyone here on this snowy suburban Iowa cul-de-sac is happy about more political visitors. One guy saw these volunteers coming and preemptively hung this sign on his door saying, "No campaigners. We are voting for Alf."
I understand they are tired and they're just ready for it to be over.
They've had a lot of door knocks.
Yes,
and
they have.
But all that incessant campaigning will come to a close in a matter of hours. The question tonight is, will come in with roughly equal support or whether there will be a very clear front runner. That's the latest. Live in Des Moines, Melissa Russo, News 4, New York.
2020, here we go. Melissa, thank you so much. The impeachment trial of President Trump is now entering its final stage. Today, the United States Senate heard closing arguments from both the House impeachment managers and from the White House defense team. All of this adding up to Wednesday. That is when senators have to make a crucial decision to acquit or convict the president and remove him from office. News 4's Chris Glorioso in the newsroom this afternoon, tracking all the developments from Capitol Hill. Chris?
I think it's fair to say Democrats know they will probably not succeed in removing President Trump. But a short time ago, House Manager Adam Schiff closed the arguments by appealing to individual Republicans, telling them any moderate who decides to flip and vote for conviction could change the course of American history.
As we enter the final arguments phase of this impeachment trial,
the outcome of Donald Trump's impeachment is not in dispute. The president is expected to be acquitted Wednesday.
It should never happen to another president.
The real question now is, by what reasoning will Republicans and Democrats cast their votes?
The House manager's case is not overwhelming, and it is not undisputed.
The president has done nothing wrong.
Many Republicans believe Trump's conduct was not impeachable and not wrong, and most Democrats say the conduct was both impeachable and wrong. That leaves a few senators in the middle who may reason, though not impeachable, Trump's behavior was unethical.
It was wrong. Inappropriate was the way I'd say improper, crossing the line. And then the only question left is, who decides what to do about that?
Tennessee Republican Lamar Alexander said he wants the voters to decide in November whether Trump is removed, and there may be a few centrist Democrats who adopt that view, despite pleadings from the impeachment managers.
He's guilty as sin, but can't we just... He's guilty as sin, but why not let the voters clean up this mess?
Often on both sides of the aisle, the closing impeachment arguments looked beyond President Trump and toward future presidents and the Congress members who might try to remove them.
This entire campaign of impeachment that started from the very first day that the president was inaugurated was a partisan one, and it should never happen again.
We simply a democracy if their president is above the law.
According to an analysis by Politico, more than 34 senators have already indicated they intend to acquit the president, and if that holds, it would be impossible to get the two-thirds majority necessary to remove him. That said, if any Republicans vote for conviction, that could chip away at President Trump's prospects for re-election. And at the same time, there are at least 3 Democrats who have not ruled out voting for acquittal, which would bolster the president's case in the court of public opinion. Back to you.
Okay, Chris Glorioso in the newsroom. This climate of impeachment going on is tomorrow night. The president will address the nation ahead of the Senate's impeachment vote. The State of the Union address will be Mr. Trump's last before the November presidential election. Governor Gretchen Whitmer of Michigan will deliver the Democratic response. Tomorrow morning, I'll be heading down to Washington, D.C. to bring you live coverage of the president's State of the Union address. Join us for News 4 at 4, 5, 6, and after the speech at 11. Now to breaking news. Conservative radio personality Rush Limbaugh just announced on his show that he has advanced lung cancer. 69-year-old says he may miss some days of his show while he undergoes treatments. The Rush Limbaugh show has been on the air since the 1980s in syndication across the country, considered the highest-rated national talk show in the U.S.
Stefan, a key accuser in the Harvey Weinstein rape trial is back on the witness stand today for cross-examination. The 34-year-old woman told jurors Friday that the disgraced movie mogul raped her twice. First in a New York hotel room in 2013, but Weinstein's lawyers attacked her credibility and behavior after the alleged attacks. News 4's Erica Byfield is live in Lower Manhattan with today's testimony. Erica.
Well, Miranda, she's on the stand today. That is Jessica Mann taking a whole bunch of questions from the defense about a series of emails that she sent Harvey Weinstein. In those emails, she's fairly complimentary of him, I should say. They wanted to know why. She said she was trying to protect herself. Jessica Mann back on the stand Monday testifying against movie mogul Harvey Weinstein. She says that Harvey Weinstein raped her in a Manhattan hotel room in 2013. Weinstein says that sex was consensual. Weinstein's defense team on Monday zeroing in on emails that Mann wrote him like, "I appreciate all you do for me. It shows." Weinstein's attorney pressing Mann, "You knew your words and your emails were a problem. I don't consider the truth a problem." Adding that she said nice things because he had so much power in the movie business. Weinstein also faces charges for allegedly sexually abusing another woman in his Soho apartment in 2006. Mimi Haley testified earlier in the trial. Weinstein says that act was consensual too. Prosecutors want the jury to believe that the film producer is a predator. Weinstein's attorneys pushing back. Instead, on Monday, repeatedly calling Mann a manipulator, that you could say that I manipulated him. Jessica Mann also told the defense today that everything she's saying right now, they're not giving her a full explanation or full opportunity to provide an explanation. She says there's much more to the story. We're expecting her to be on the stand a lot longer. She also could be there for much of tomorrow. Reporting live from Lower Manhattan, Erica Byfield, News 4, New York.
Erica, thank you so much. The calendar feels a lot more like spring today. It has been a warmer winter than usual. Storm Team 4 saying January was the 10th warmest on record. But is that impacting businesses at ski slopes in the tri-state? We sent News 4's Gabi Acevedo to find out.
Here in Camp God, more experienced skiers are shut down.